Yo, what is going on, you green grotto? Today, playing some games with single strike. Now, I think the biggest strength of and reason to play single strike right now is the typing advantage you get against a lot of the popular decks, the Jolteon, Shadow Rider, Dragapult. So taking advantage of that right now, I think, is a huge reason to play single strike. And if those decks become unpopular, single strike I don't think becomes quite as good of a play. But the deck definitely has gained a ton of strength from the addition of Umbreon VMAX, so it doesn't just need to take advantage of typing to win games. You can definitely win games by just being a strong, aggressive deck through the Dark Signal and having access to stuff like the GMAX 1 blow on the single strike Urshifu. So in this build, I am playing a little bit heavier on the Umbreon side, so we have a 4-3 Umbreon VMAX, and then I have a 2-2 Urshifu VMAX. I just really like the strength of the Umbreon that it gives you in so many matchups just through the Dark Signal. Just go first and then turn to Dark Signal, kind of punch or KO, whatever you want. It's just like such a big deal. So if you can take advantage of that, it is kind of huge. So huge fan of the heavier line of the Umbreon VMAX. And then of course we got the 4-4 Hounded, one Crobat in here just in case we get stuck and need some draw support through a Quick Ball or the Crobat itself. The rest of it, nothing really special, right? We got the 4 Urn, a 4 Tower of Darkness, 4 Marnie, 4 Research. Only one boss because we do have that heavy Umbreon VMAX line. 4 Single Strike Energy, 2 Basic Fighting. We do get to play Capture Energy in this deck, which is great. Capture Energy, such a strong card. One, you can include it in your deck, and we can include it in here pretty well. Dark Colorless on the Umbreon VMAX's attack, so it fits. You can even have 2 Capture Energy on the Umbreon, and then with the Urshifu V, fighting colorless, get a capture energy in there as well. Yeah, capture energy so strong, especially when we want to set up so many Houndooms so aggressively, and we'd love to play another Pokemon search card in this deck, but Evolution Incense and Quick Ball, there's nothing really great besides those. Level Ball is okay, but it only finds Houndour, which just isn't great. Like, only finding Houndour is just not enough, and then they just fall off from there and are pretty much useless past the first like 2 or 3 turns. So yeah, Level Ball, not great. Rest of the deck, one switch to Air Balloon. Don't need to move around too often or very much at all, to be honest. And then I do have 2 Tool Jammer in here. We got 2 Tool Jammer in here because Cape of Toughness is pretty popular with those Zacian and the Zacian and what's the other one? Suicune decks. And we got to be able to get through those Capes of Toughness to do damage to actually get KOs. So we got to play some Tool Jammers. Got 2 of them right now. Maybe 1 Tool Jammer, 1 Tool Scrapper would be a better mix, but I feel like the Tool Jammer is such a strong card that I've been rocking 2 of them, and it's felt pretty good so far, really digging the Tool Jammers. And yeah, that is the list. Let's go ahead and let's play some games. All right, getting into our first one here, we got a Umbreon start, Quick Ball, Capture Energy. The hand's okay. Really depends on what my opponent's playing, how aggressive we want to be. We might have to find Crobat on this first turn. We do have the Quick Ball for that. We are up against single or Rapid Strike Urshifu, which is a tough matchup. Rapid Strike's pretty tough for us. We'll see what we can do. Definitely want to set up a big Urshifu VMAX. I think it's going to want to be our goal here. We did draw into one, and now we drew into a Research here, so the hand looks a lot better. We still might want to hold on to it for a turn. They are playing the Moltres build, as we see with this Dark Energy here. But yeah, I want to set up the Urshifu VMAX. So let's go ahead and cap out a Houndour. And I'm probably going to give up the Tool Jammer here because I don't think that's super important in this matchup. So we're going to go ahead and get another Houndour. Throw the whole squad down and pass over to my opponent. Yeah, we got the evolution of the VMAX. We got a Evolution Incense for a Houndoom. Maybe we play the Capture Energy. I'm kind of leaning towards probably not wanting to do that. We'll see what we want to actually attack with this on this next turn. I actually don't know what we want to attack with. Got a couple options here. We could go for the Umbreon VMAX with like triple single strike to KO something off my opponent's bench. We could go attach, go for just like a Moonlight Blade KO on the Sobble as well. We go with the Moonlight Blade knockout with triple single strike energy on the Urshifu as well. That would also KO. I mean, we do need to find like double Houndoom and draw into a single strike energy, but it is a thought of definitely something we could draw into. It is possible to draw into that. Just to keep calling for my opponent, so a super slow start, or maybe their hand is just good enough, right? Like, I mean, they got a 7-card hand, so they probably got something going on, and they need to find basics this turn. This whole turn has to be basically them finding basics. So if they just get Urshifu, Sobble, I mean, that's not that bad. We definitely want to focus down on Urshifu, though, I think. I wouldn't hate just KOing the active Sobble, though, and setting up... Oh, man, there's like so many options here to take. I just don't know which route I want to go. We're going to start with an Evolution Incense, I think. Grab a Houndoom. Umbreons are in here. I could get out another Houndour. And then maybe just go for a KO on the active. And then just kind of like have the Urshifu ready to go. Kind of waiting in the wings to start swinging on the following turn. All 4 for single strike energy. Always something important to check when you're playing this deck. I also don't really want to capture right now because if I have to use Crobat to like dig deeper, but I don't really want to use Crobat as well. I'm thinking about putting the capture on the active, searching out another Houndour, and then just planning for like a Moonlight Blade on the Sobble here. And I think that would be fine. I think that would be okay. So maybe that's what we should go with here. Another Houndour. Urshifu VMAX. And then research. I guess I could use this as well then. No reason not to. Throw it there. I guess I could have held off onto it just in case I find an air balloon and I'd rather attack with this. But I don't see why I would rather attack with that. We did whiff so far. Tower to get rid of a tower, I think. Yeah, we want to keep the urns. Urns too important. Tower to get rid of a tower. We got the evolution incense. So yeah, we are attacking with the Umbreon. Umbreon's attacking this turn. Not exactly what we'd want to be attacking. There are some better options, I think, for sure. If I could pick a target to attack, but this isn't bad. Just KOing the Sobble for the turn. Not terrible. And yeah, Moonlight Blade for the knockout. I guess I could have just gone double single strike energy and put the capture somewhere else, but there's nowhere else great to put the capture, to be honest. Yeah, there's nowhere else great to put the capture. And we can get a one-hit KO this next turn. We can go retreat, earn back into single strikes, or yeah, retreat to single strikes off, earn them in, and then yeah, GMAX one blow. We could KO an Urshifu VMAX this turn. Depends on what my opponent does, but that looks like it wants to be the route we want to go on this next turn. We'll see what actually happens here, because they get to play out. They get to play out their turn. They could maybe throw something out there to stop us, but looking like it would be a pretty good line to potentially take here. It's just hard retreat. GMAX one blow. We do need 3 single strike energy, so we can't attach the basic fighting for the turn, but we need another Houndoom or to draw into one. And we'd probably go the route of hard retreat, shuffle them in, and then play Marnie. And if we draw into one, we can do double Houndoom afterwards and get 2, because it's super unlikely that we would see 3 of the single strike energy off of the Marnie. So we don't have to like play that cautious, I don't think, at all. But here comes a Marnie from my opponent, and this might completely change what we want to do this turn all of a sudden, and might completely limit us into what we can actually do this turn. We'll see what we get off this Marnie. I'm assuming we're getting Marnie here. I guess we haven't gotten Marnie quite yet. They might not play it, but I got a feeling they wouldn't grab it if they weren't going to use it. There's another Sobble for my opponent. Set up for some more Drizzles. We'd have to play around this quick shooting, or we might want to play around this quick shooting as well next turn, because they hit us for 150. They hit my Umbreon V for 150 with the Gale Thrust. They can quick shooting KO my Umbreon next turn, so I might just evolve this to stay out of that range. But then I have another 3 prize Pokemon in play with a lot of damage on it, so then that might open up a better route for my opponent. So I don't actually know if I'd want to take that. There's the Urn. So that was the big card for us to hit, is this Urn. So we can do the hard retreat, play the Urn, probably keep the air balloon in the deck. I don't see a reason to really burn that. We might quick ball away the top deck just to kind of thin out the deck a little bit, or we could actually quick ball the top deck and get like a Houndour or maybe an Umbreon and discard it with the Tower of Darkness after we use the Urn. And then we will for sure know we have a single strike card in our hand that we can use to draw 2 cards right now, or dig 2 cards deeper in our deck. So that's probably the route we'll take next turn. But yeah, we just need to wait and see what we top deck, and if we want to do it like that. Quick ball from my opponent. No more Marnie. They might be going for the Crobat here if they whiffed the switch card and the energy. Actually, they need switch card and energy here, so they actually need quite a bit. And if it's all whiffed, they're going to be in a rough spot. Get the Moltres V. But yeah, I could maybe even just go KO Moltres for turn. I don't hate the idea of that. How much damage are we doing with this thing right now? 160, 200, 220 with another single strike. Okay, there's the energy. There's the Moltres. Do they have the switch card, though? Can they move this Urshifu V? No, it is stuck. Okay, so I don't hate the idea of just going, KO. Well, if we can KO that, though, if we can KO the Urshifu VMAX, that sounds a little bit better. Once again, I don't think we need Tool Jammer in this matchup. Yeah, would remove the Rapstrike energy. They would have to find another VMAX. They would not be in a great spot, I don't think. Houndour, I think, is going to be the target here. All right, let's go for it. Let's try and go for this big KO on the Urshifu VMAX. I might be overstepping a little bit here, and I might regret this in the end, but I think we're probably in a pretty good spot with this one. So we need a Houndoom or a single strike energy. Got the single strike energy, so now we can load up 2 more energy here. I still need the Umbreon, actually. We're still an Umbreon short. All right, load it up, though. Now we're just going to play the Marnie. Keep the air balloon in the deck just in case they try and boss stall something. I want to have that in the deck as an out. No Umbreon, so we can GMAX one blow. Oh, but I don't really want to GMAX one blow. Here we go, GMAX one blow. Because now we don't have any energy in play on our Urshifu, and we can get it all back on the next turn theoretically, but not guaranteed. We only get 2 prize cards. I was really hoping for an Umbreon there to KO their Urshifu VMAX, take a 3 prize knockout, because now we kind of have to rebuild up this Urshifu to get a 1-hit KO on the Urshifu. I mean, they can't do a whole ton this turn still. I still think we're in a good spot, but not as good of a spot as we could have been. I maybe should have just like gone with the Moonlight Blade knockout. I just need to get one more single strike energy here. Could have loaded up one here. That might have been a better like middle of the road play. That that might have just been the better route to go, to be honest. Maybe I was a little bit too aggressive with this, and now it looks like we might get punished for it. We'll see what my opponent has on this turn, though. They still need a decent amount to get a decent amount going. Here comes an escape rope. Well, I don't want to lose a Houndoom. This thing already has damage. I think I'm fine with sending up this Umbreon V. Let's go with it. They're not hitting my Urshifu, which I definitely like the idea of my Urshifu not getting hit this turn, because I don't think my opponent can win in like 2 turns. So we have like a turn or 2 to work with here for sure. The question is just what can we get done in that turn? Is it going to be enough for us to win the game? But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what my opponent's got cooking. They got the G-Max Rapid Flow online. Will they focus my Houndooms, the Houndowers, the Umbreon? Here it comes, G-Max Rapid Flow. No supporter for the turn, so no supporter in that hand. So they're definitely probably going after the Houndour then, because they probably want a prize card. No, just double hits on the Houndooms. Ooh, they could be setting up a Medicham play here. That's kind of scary. I'm kind of scared of that now. All right, gonna use the Urn for 2. And we could attack with the active here and then load up so we can KO. Oh, there's the concede. So apparently the hand was a little bit too... I still think we had a game here. If my opponent top decked, I wasn't getting any kind of knockout here. I don't think. Well, no, actually I could have actually got a G-Max 1 blow online there. I could have, but it wasn't super likely. I think my opponent still had a what is the saying? A dog in that fight. They could have still won that one for sure. They could have stuck it out. But let's go ahead, take the dub. Let's get into the next one. Here we go again, going second. I forget if we went second in the first one or not. Houndour start, double quick ball, and a supporter. Pretty good hand, though. We just have to decide which supporter we want to play. Do we want to give up a Houndoom? Maybe that'll depend on how many we prize and also what our top deck is. We're up against Dragapult, which is a pretty good matchup. We do need to get a lot of Houndours out, though, to make sure we can attack turn 2 with an Umbreon. If we can attack with an Umbreon turn 2, we're usually going to be in a pretty good spot, but that is kind of one of the big things to kind of look at here, because they can take out double Houndour in a turn, which is pretty bad for us. Let's go ahead and let's grab let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of the single strike energy, because we can recover that. We don't need to do the extra damage from it. We got Umbreon stuff. We did prize a Houndoom. We don't need a lot of Houndoom though as well. I might go for the Dower here. Yeah, we don't need that many Houndoom. I kind of just don't want to Marnie them. They didn't have like that ridiculously good of a turn, just one Sobble down, stuff like that. So I kind of don't want to Marnie them, but I also kind of do want to play the Marnie to save the Houndoom. But I know how important it is to get other... Hold on. We want to grab Umbreon here and potentially put a capture energy on it. We'll get rid of the research, save the fighting energy. To keep the Houndour in the deck. I don't need that many. I mean, I already got rid of the research, so I was like rethinking it through my head. But I want to keep the option of capture energy open, so I don't want to attach the fighting energy. I'm just gonna go with the Marnie, and we're gonna really hope here that we get. Okay, we still got the Tower of Darkness. We can also retreat to the Umbreon, but we don't have any energy right now. Go with that. God, ooh, what a draw! What a draw! So we can capture out. No more Dowers, so probably another Umbreon. And the question would be, do I want to air balloon into an Umbreon here? If I don't definitely lose a Houndour. I think I do. Another Dower down. Would have liked a 4th Dower, and then I probably would have not done this. But yeah, I don't really want to lose a Dower to the play for my opponent. So I'm gonna do it like this. And then we can go with the Moonlight Blade. If we get the VMAX, we could VMAX. We probably won't VMAX, to be honest. We'll probably go with the Moonlight Blade. But we'll see what my opponent does. We'll see where it goes. See what we draw into. That's also always a factor. What do we draw? If we don't draw very well, I mean, who knows what we'll be able to do. Triple Sobs down now for my opponent. And here comes that Drizzy. I don't really need too much more for their turn, but I'm sure they want to get to Inteleon as soon as possible. So here comes the Shady Dealings, and we'll see what they grab. But yeah, they got the Max Phantom. probably going to try and KO one of my Dowers, actually. So this is probably going to get, if they don't have access to Zigzagoon right now, Quick Ball or Level Ball to go get the Zigzagoon, to ping one of my Dowers, to knock it out on the next turn, and then I don't have a Houndour, and that kind of stinks, but it's good for my opponent. But they go for an Evolution Instance, actually. Max Phantom, not going to be able to take out one of my Dowers. Okay, that's really good for us. And then I could go with a Moonlight Blade this turn. We'll see. They do hit one of my Dowers, but I'm just going to evolve that one, I think. I mean, I don't see a reason not to evolve that one and stop it from getting knocked out really easily. It could still get knocked out on the next turn. And we got to capture energy, so now we can capture here. I don't think I'm going to get anything, though. I want to save the option of Crobat. So we're not going to grab anything. We will evolve this. And I think I should Single Strike Roar as well. And this is super efficient, like double capture energy on the Umbreon. I'm going to even use the second capture energy. Just going to take advantage of that typing. And that's what this matchup is really all about, to be honest. Just take advantage of... Ooh, I should have actually used the Tower of Darkness first. That's a mistake. Because I could have drawn into a Houndour. And then I could have Evolution Incense for the other one. So don't make that mistake that I just did. Now, I could VMAX this, and I would have 100... I wouldn't have that much HP left, though, because of this. So I don't think I should VMAX, to be honest. I think we're going to go like this. Single Strike Roar, get another energy. Well, because we do KO already, right? 160. Yeah, we're already KOing them. We're just in such a ridiculously good spot, man. I mean, I guess they can't Bite knock me out if I do evolve. So maybe I should evolve to stop myself from getting knocked out from a Bite. Because they could go Bite or even Goon plus Quick Shooting. Okay, maybe I will evolve then. Maybe I will evolve. Because then it stops those shenanigans, knockouts that... probably don't want to be knocked out by those things. So let's go with it like this. Seems pretty good. Yeah, we got 140 HP left. They could still knock me out with like Raihan plus a Jet Assault. Raihan plus Jet Assault would still get the KO. But then we can go back into a V, knock that out. And then they're probably out of Raihan. Usually the lists only play that one Raihan. So then I probably won't have to deal with that anymore. But they ship the Dragapult to the active here. They can still KO me with a Dragapult VMAX. But I don't really mind them going with a VMAX here. Even if they go Raihan plus VMAX, because if they do that, well, then I just win the game by knocking out another 3-prizer. So if they're going to go with this, it looks like they are. It looks like they're just going to go load up this Dragapult V and make it into a VMAX and swing. And then I guess just hope that I can't get the return knockout. But I already have the return knockout on board, as long as I didn't prize a Single Strike energy. I guess my opponent doesn't know that I didn't prize a Single Strike energy. So maybe this is the best route for them to take, to be honest. Maybe just be aggressive and be like, all right, it's a bad matchup. Weak to dark, but no, there's just the concede, and yeah, it's that easy. Take advantage of the dark type weakness. Easy dubs against Dragapult. Here we go. This time going first. I think we went first in the first one though, so going first again. Decent start. We want a little bit more. Still have a top deck available. Don't want to open the Houndour, just in case there's something that could, they're playing something that could hit us, which is definitely possible for them to be playing something that could hit us. It looks like we actually hit a mirror match here. Never played the mirror match. No idea how to play this. We're going to do a little bit of learning together, I guess. Setting up a Single Strike VMAX seems pretty important, but also just going like Mean Look early to KO Houndour seems pretty good. That's another Umbreon. We need it out for a basic. Oh, no basic out. So, yeah, pretty meh hand. Pass over to my opponent. Yeah, we wanted a second Houndour out on this first turn. No Quick Ball, no capture, so that's unfortunate. But we could still get like a Mean Look knockout on a Houndour next turn by using by getting a Single Strike energy. We can evolve this Umbreon on the bench, bring it up, Single Strike energy attached, Single Strike energy from Houndoom. We will have to draw into a Single Strike energy off this Marnie, but it's possible. So could go for that. Set them back a Houndour. Try and get another Houndour or two, or a Houndour or two down ourselves, because that's going to be pretty important, I think, to have some Houndours in play. And then I guess we're just going to go from there and see how it goes. Here goes the Urshifu V for my opponent. That's why I was thinking we might need to set up our own V here to be a VMAX to get like a big KO on their VMAX potentially. That definitely seems like this is the way this match could swing. There's the Urn. Here comes the Research. It's also possible actually with Single Strike. Maybe we do just want to go second. More outs to Houndour. It almost feels like Shadow Rider, where it's like going second doesn't feel bad. Get more Vs out, get more chances to set up for the VMAXs and so on. And actually, this might sit in the active here, so we don't even have to evolve to an Umbreon VMAX here. But it's still feeling pretty rough, to be honest. It feels like we're on the back foot for sure. We need to have like a better turn one. Just second Houndour, actually, to be honest. It would just be second Houndour. The second Houndour is like literally all we needed here to have ourselves be probably ahead. And then we can like chase. We could have chased and KO'd this V. Now that's not an option. They even switched into it aggressively before they would potentially lose the switch. So that's how aggressive they're being. They're being super aggressive. The deck doesn't play a ton of switch cards though, so I think I'm going to take a little bit of an advantage of this, and I'm going to go ahead and go with a Dark Signal here. I'm going to bring back up a Houndour of my opponent's. I'm going to get this capture into play, get another Houndour. Those are just super important. And I kind of want to start loading up a V, but I think the Houndour is more important than getting the V here. Hopefully I get the V off this. We did find an air balloon. So we can go get a V, and we can single strike roar over to my V. Where does the game go from here? Let's find out. Oh no, I prized a double Urshifu V. Well, that's really bad. I think I'm going to go get another Umbreon to make sure I have access to a Dark Signal on the next turn then. This is not good. Yeah, make sure you have access to a Dark Signal on the next turn. Single strike roar to... I guess I could Mean Look. That'd make things a little bit more awkward for my opponent, but all I have to do is evolve this one and put an air balloon on it. But I could go with a Mean Look here. It could be that they could go air balloon. If they get Houndours out, or Houndooms out, if they're going to have them out anyway. So I think I'm going to go to the bench here instead. Yeah, I thought about it for a second, but it didn't make a whole ton of sense, I don't think, in the end. All right, pass over to my opponent. Yeah, double V prize. I mean, maybe this is a reason we should play more than 2V, right? We got the 2-2 split in here currently. But I guess easier to prize 2 of them. I don't think that's a good enough reason, to be honest. Like, in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, this just happened. But that can't be a good enough reason, right? That can't be a good enough reason. It could be. I don't think it is, though. I really don't think it is. Research coming down. Getting rid of... I didn't even see what they got rid of here. Couple things. There's Houndoom number 1. Another Umbreon came down as well. But we'll see what they draw. Maybe they have similarly bad prize cards with something else, or just can't quite put together a really good turn. They're loading up this Urshifu V right now, which is scary. But can they attack with it? What are they going to be able to do with this thing on this turn is going to be the big question. And yeah, I guess that is kind of a big attacker in this matchup. The VMAX hits hard enough for that one-hit KO on the opposing VMAXs, whereas the Umbreon only hitting for that 160 base. Even if you get 3-4 single strike energy on there, you're not one-hit KOing the other VMAXs. So it really is more of a game of chasing stuff or chasing around stuff, or even hitting into it, potentially setting up a scroll. And there's a whiff from my opponent, so we're going to go after this thing really, really hard this turn. Yeah, we are trying to KO that Urshifu V for sure. I almost want to grab the Crobat. I don't want to use Crobat. We only have one boss in the deck. We could get the boss, but we're really looking at that Evolution Incense for the Umbreon VMAX. Maybe I'll just grab something to discard. I want to discard, though. I kind of want to set up another Houndour. But I don't want to grab it yet, just in case I want to use Crobat. So I think I just grab nothing and then play the Research. Like, I don't want to use my Crobat yet, but, you know, it's there. Didn't quite get there. We need a single strike energy or a what's called. Now we might just use the Crobat, though, to be honest. Now we might just go down the Crobat route because we do need a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and quick ball away the Research. Grab myself Crobat. Yeah. And then quick ball away the energy. Grab myself nothing, I think. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Crobat for 4 here. Hopefully draw into. Didn't get there yet. Still have the tower. Can we please? Oh my gosh, thank goodness. Got the Evolution Incense to get the Houndoom, to get a second single strike energy. That was looking annoying. And there's the Concede. They see us get the Houndoom. They're like, well, my Urshifu's going down. I don't want to play this game anymore. And get another dub. Just the aggressiveness of Umbreon, right? We prized double single strike V. That looked a little bit scary. But then my opponent couldn't hit the VMAX, couldn't hit the switch card. Maybe we're a little bit aggressive with that switch on the previous turn. Because it did open the opportunity for me to just bring the Houndour back up and make it awkward for them to put it to the bench. But dub either way with the single strike. And yeah, it's going to do it for these games, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you're enjoying the content, you're new here, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell. And I'll see you tomorrow.